the one I gave yesterday in Google Classroom. And in here, you have to determine the equation that would produce the following table of data. Okay? So again, because this is a square root function, and in the calculator, you are not allowed, you cannot get square root regression. So that means we need to use quadratic regression in getting our final square root function. Okay? What do we need to do first?
Switch
your x and y, because square root and quadratic are inverse functions. So to get the inverse of this one, we just switch the x and y. All the y will now be your x.
And all x will be the y.
And all your x will be the y. Okay, so in the calculator, you have to add list and spreadsheet, which is this one. And then, name your x as x and name your y as y. Okay? And then put your values, the ones in the new table. Okay? So because I already did this in my previous class, you're gonna see it here. And then, because you are getting quadratic function, click menu.
Menu?
Statistics.
Yes.
Start calculations, and then quadratic regression. Whatever you named your x list, click and do not type. Whatever you named your y list, also click. And then click OK or enter. You will be given the values of A, B, and C. Okay? So f of x is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c. This is for quadratic function.
X squared minus
Okay.
4x
X squared. A is 1. B is
minus 4x
negative 4.
Minus
So we have negative
32.
4x and then minus 32.
32.
Okay. Again, we are to get a square root function, not quadratic function. So from quadratic, we have to change it into square root. So that means we have to get the inverse. This time, we will use the algebraic method. So step number 1, change f of x to y. We have y is equal to x squared minus 4x minus 32. And then,
you're gonna switch your x for the y.
switch and your x and y. So y is now your x is now your y. Okay? And because we are solving for y, which is the next step, y is squared, meaning this is a quadratic equation. So to solve for quadratic equation, one side must be equal to
0.
0. So that means
Negative x.
minus. I need to subtract x on both sides. That will give me 0 is equal to y squared minus 4y minus 32 minus x. Now, solving quadratic function, we will use, the quadratic formula. Okay? We need the values of a, b, and c. Let us determine first a, b, and c. What's the value of a?
1. I know. Yeah.
1. Correct. It's a 1 beside y squared. What's the value of b?
Negative 4.
Negative 4. That's the 1 beside y. And what should be the value of c?
36.
Negative 32 minus x.
Correct. You have to put the constant and the x, which is negative x. Okay? Alright, now that we have the values of a, b, and c, let us start substituting into our quadratic formula. Because we are solving for y, you have to put y. Okay? So y is equal to negative b. Negative, and then your b is negative 4. Plus or minus square root of b. So you have negative 4 squared minus 4 times a times c, which is negative 32 minus x. This is all over 2 times a, which is 1. So start with replacing or substituting all your values for a, b, and c. Question? For the first step.
No, ma'am.
Okay, now let us simplify. What is negative times negative 4?
Positive 4.
Positive 4. Plus or minus square root of negative 4 squared.
Positive 16.
Positive 16. Negative 4 times 1 is negative 4 times negative 32 minus x. Okay, this is all over 2 times 1, which is 2. Okay, again, we further simplify. We have 4 plus or minus square root of, we have 16. And then negative 4 distribute to the values inside the parentheses. What is negative 4 times negative 32? You may use your calculator.
Okay.
Negative 4 times negative 32
128.
is positive 128. What is negative 4 times negative x?
Negative 4x. No, positive.
Positive
4x.
4x. And this is all over 2. Again, simplify. We can combine like terms. So this is 4 plus or minus square root of, what is 16 plus 128?
100. Oh,
144.
Okay, 144 plus 4x all over 2. Okay, again, we can still simplify the ones inside the radical symbol. But how? How do you simplify this one? You cannot get the square root yet because these are two terms separated by plus or minus. What do we need to do here? We need to get the greatest. Correct. We need to get the greatest common factor. So that means what number? The greatest number you can divide to both 144 and 4x.
4.
4. So you put 4 outside and then inside the parentheses, whatever is left. What is 144 divided by 4?
36.
36. What is 4x divided by 4?
X.
Positive x. Question, what if you have a negative 144? Do you factor out a negative number? Do we put negative 4 and then positive 36 minus x?
Yeah.
Well, you can, but if you get the square root of a negative number, that will give you I, which is an imaginary. Remember, it doesn't exist, square root of negative. But because we don't want I, as it will not give you this table of data, I suggest do not factor out a negative even if this is negative. So you will just factor out positive 4 and then divide including the sign. What is negative 144 divided by 4?
Negative 36.
That will give you negative 36. And then positive 4x divided by 4 is positive x. Again, even if your leading number, the leading term, is not positive, it's a negative, still factor out a positive number. Okay? And let us continue. Here. So this is all divided by 2. We can still simplify the ones inside your radical symbol. So we have 4 plus or minus. What is the square root of 4?
2.
2. So you put 2 outside your square root. Inside your square root, you have x plus 36 or 36 plus x. This is all over 2. Common mistake students are doing, they are not dividing for the first number by 2. It's just the radical divided by 2. It should be everything divided by 2. Okay?
Including the square root?
Okay, can we still get the square root of the ones inside the radical?
No.
No more. I know that 36 is a perfect square, but because it is separated by a plus or minus, we don't square root 36. We don't get the square root of 36. Okay?
Can divide by 2?
Yes, but now we can simplify the ones outside. Okay, what is 4 divided by 2?
2.
2. Plus or minus, what is 2 divided by 2?
1.
1. Or just square root of x plus 36. Okay, which will give us two answers. Y is equal to 2 plus square root of x plus 36. And the other one is y is equal to 2 minus square root of x plus 36. Okay. To check which one will give us the correct answer, on your calculator, you have to add graph. Okay, first, put your first equation. So, 2 plus square root of x plus 36. Enter, and then Control T. Check your values for this function. Okay, it should match our original table. Okay, so when your x is negative 36, your y is positive 2, which is the same. If your x is negative 35, your y should be 1. But in here, your y is 3, which means this is not your final answer. Okay, and just to check that the other one is correct, again, we put it in the calculator.
2.
Okay, this time, we have 2 minus control square root x plus 36. Enter, then Control T. Again, when your x is negative 36, y is 2. When your x is negative 35, y is 1. Negative 32, it's 0 at y. Negative 27, negative 1. And negative 20, negative 2. Okay? You still have to check will give you the same values because sometimes students are thinking, so this doesn't give me the values in my table, which means this is automatically correct. But sometimes you are solving it incorrectly. So still check if this will give you the same values as your original, okay? Any question? None?